Good afternoon from Las Vegas for the Mountain West Conference Championship. It's the 3-seed Utah State Aggies and the 20th ranked and #1 seed San Diego State Aztecs. Utah State beat Boise State in the semis last night. Aztecs defeated San Jose State to reach the title game today. Thank you so much for joining us. Kevin Harlan alongside Dan Bonner. We'll check in with A.J. Ross, our sideline reporter, moments from now. This is kind of a familiar setting right now. But these two teams, they've been in 4 of the last 5 title games in this conference.
Kevin, it really speaks to the quality of the players and the leadership in these two programs that they've been able to sustain such excellence in a basketball conference as tough as this.
And it is a good one. 5th ranked overall in the country. Here we've got a matchup, Dan, of a terrific offensive team against a great defensive team, leading us to the fast analysis presented by AT&T 5G.
San Diego State has one of the top defensive squads in the country. They've got 5 guys who can really get after you, and that's not just 5, it's any 5 on the court. They're deep, they're experienced, and they really play hard. You can see here they pick up a loose ball, pass it down court. That's what they do. They turn defense into offense. One of the best offensive teams in the country is Utah State, and they do it with ball movement and three-point shooting. As we follow Matt Shulga, he gives up the ball, gets to an open spot, gives it right back once the defense collapses, and then he knocks down a 3.
Each team has a headliner. You're going to be watching them closely today.
Absolutely. For the Aggies of Utah State, their all-conference player is this guy, Stephen Ashworth. This is a perpetual motion machine here. Not only is he an outstanding three-point shooter, but he never stops, and he's hard to guard because he's hard to catch. And for the San Diego State Aztecs, their all-conference player, Matt Bradley. Big and strong, not necessarily explosive, but he's an outstanding three-point shooter. He can get the ball where he wants it to go.
The Mountain West hopes to get 4 teams into the NCAAB tournament, including these 2 from the championship game, with selection Sunday a little less than 24 hours away on the road to the Final Four. CBS Sports coverage of the Mountain West Championship is sponsored by Dave & Buster's. Watch your team with your team. Mercedes-Benz Sprinter Vans. And by Progressive Insurance. Now hiring at progressive.com/careers. A look at some of the recent Mountain West tournament champions. Last year it was Boise State. The year before, San Diego State. And the year before that, Utah State. Familiar names. Let's now bring in the 3rd member of our crew and say good afternoon to A.J. Ross.
Kevin, this championship game was a quick turnaround for both of these teams, especially Utah State, who had only about 15 hours in between. Coach Ryan Odom said rest was a priority for these Aggies, so he let them sleep in till about 10 this morning before they began their prep work on San Diego State. But Odom added, at this point in the year, you pretty much know your conference opponent's tendencies and their strengths. So now it comes down to his guys really digging deep and executing on the floor. Kevin.
Thank you very much, A.J. Dan, this has to be one of the hardest turnarounds for any tournament team to come back less than 24 hours in play. You take a look at Ashworth. He is the sharpshooter. We'll be watching him all afternoon. And some terrific players. A lot of length with the Aztecs. And as you said earlier, defense is their calling card.
And San Diego State, as you look at them out on the court, Kevin, they look like they just escaped from the weight room. These are big, strong guys. And Utah State, they're a team of shooters, and so sometimes it's really hard for shooters to go up against big physical guys. San Diego State won both games during the regular season, and Utah State, though, we were talking to Ryan Odom this morning, he feels comfortable.
Well, Utah State and San Diego State have met 3 consecutive times in the Mountain West Tournament Championship. In 2019, Utah State won by 7. In 2020, the Aggies, Sam Merrill, with a big hit, 3 seconds left. That gave them a championship, and the Aztecs got revenge with a 68-57 win back in 2021. There's a look at Ryan Odom in his 2nd season He was 5 years at University of Maryland, Baltimore County. And, of course, we all remember the part of history that he claimed as a 16 seed, beating #1 seed at that time, UVA.
Well, that was in 2018, and that was the only time that's ever happened. Kevin, I think in this game it's going to be important for guys other than the stars to produce. I think that they're Brian Dutcher, excuse me. Brian Dutcher told us yesterday that they were really going to get after Ashworth and they were really going to get after Funk. So I think it's important that other guys for Utah State step to center stage. Sean Bairstow is a guy who perfectly could fill that role.
What terrific fan bases each team has brought into Thomas and Mack Arena. They travel very, very well. Our officials today in a terrific crew. David Hall has officiated 2 Final Fours. Michael Irving has officiated 7 regionals and 12 NCAA tournaments. And Larry Spalding, 14 NCAA tournaments. By the way, the NCAA and all their officials are under scrutiny. There'll be 100 chosen after this weekend, and they will be put in the pool as the tournament begins with the first 4 in Dayton.
And the officials are just like the teams. They want to go to the NCAA tournament, and they want to advance in the NCAA tournament. So big stage for them as well.
So here we go. Utah State, the 3 seed. San Diego State, the 1 seed. And the Aztecs will get it. They are in white.
Both teams man-to-man defense.
Bradley takes it inside. He works in there on Bairstow. Claimed by Mensah. Scoops it off and a nice dunk. It's put in by Keyshawn Johnson.
San Diego State with some pressure after the basket, and the Aztecs are an outstanding offensive rebounding team. Utah State cannot give up very many second chance opportunities.
On top they got Dorius. He's the 7'1" graduate student. Ashworth, and he gets it over to Shulga. Shulga is from Kiev, Ukraine. Inside, pick and roll, off the glass and down for 2. Trevin Dorius puts it up in, and he only averages 6 a game, but hurt from early.
He got surprised by that pass and actually made a pretty nice catch. Sometimes he doesn't catch it really well on the inside.
Moving here, Trammell, and now on top for Johnson. Butler, Johnson, with the push inside by the defense of Dorius. And now Taylor Funk. Played his previous 4 years at St. Joe's.
This defense will just really get after you. Pressure the ball.
Sneaking it inside, and again they go for the big man. He goes up against Mensah. He can't get it that time. Dorius fans on a couple right on the doorstep. And here come the Aztecs the other way. Butler, pickpocketed. The other way comes Ashworth. And now Funk, he'll launch a 3. And it's Mensah inside. A great shot blocker, good rebounder. And the other way come the Aztecs, who were 15-3 in the Mountain West, winning the regular season title. Lamont Butler. 2 minutes gone here in the first half. Johnson inside, can't get it defended, but then they put it back up and in with Matt Bradley. His first 2, he is a first-team all-conference selection.
And Ryan Odom really upset with his team. They've played pretty good defense right up until the point where they have to get the ball, and they haven't been able to get defensive rebounds. Both San Diego State baskets have come on offensive rebounds.
Aggies finish number 3, actually tied for second place in the Mountain West at 13-5. But they come in as the 3 seed. And a 3 seed has only won this championship once in its history. With the miss by Schlickel, and put back up and in. And now Dorius has 4 points. Like we said, he only averages 6 a game.
It's a great start for Dorius. And remember, he's going up against Mensah, who's the defensive player of the year in this conference 2 years running.
Lamont Butler and Bradley, who played at Cal, out to Butler, launching a 3. And a rebound claimed by Taylor Funk. He's at 6'8" and a senior from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Bairstow, the Australian, drives on Bradley.
Wow. He put his chest into Bradley. Bradley's a big, strong guy, and so he created some space with Bradley, but he was also able to get it up over Mensah.
Aztecs overall, number 20 in the latest polls in all of college basketball, 26-6. Bradley from 15. Rebound by Bairstow.
You see, Utah State would really like to push it to try to get down the court before San Diego State can get set.
Here's Ashworth.
And Trammell is not giving him any room at all.
All knocked away, shot clock at 18. We have a couple substitutions now coming in. Ladib will come in for San Diego State. As you watch this nice basket moments ago by Bairstow, even knocked off balance, he got it to go.
Well, he did get it to go off balance, and Bairstow has really good size. He's 6'8" and stronger than he looks. He doesn't look like he spends as much time in the weight room as these San Diego State guys, but he's got some strength about him.
A rope has also come in now for the Aztecs in white. Funk is swirling, shot clock at 3. Rebound is a rope inside. He is a senior from Omaha. Trammell and a rope. They go down low. Ladib, who just came off the bench, stripped of the ball. Shot clock at 21. A little more than 4 minutes gone in the championship game. The big man for the Aggies has scored a couple times inside. There he is, putting it through. And we've got a lead early on. Utah State by 2 on CBS. Welcome back to Las Vegas. Don't miss the original series Tulsa King, The Game, Star Trek Picard, and a mountain of entertainment on Paramount Plus. 2-point lead, Utah State. All right, how do each team's resumes stack up here with Selection Sunday? Like I said, less than 24 hours away.
To answer that question, we have to go to our friend Jerry Palm, and this is what his predictions for Utah State. On the left side of your screen, he says they're in, but they're among the last 4 in. San Diego State comfortably in, but Utah State, look at that net ranking, 18. Kevin, Jerry knows what he's doing. I don't, but Utah State has to be in the tournament. If the NCAA doesn't put them in their tournament, then that damages the credibility of their own rating, which is the net.
A rope was in there trying to fight. Out of bounds it goes off the Aztecs. With a look at Ryan Odom. He was a Division II point guard. If that last name rings a bell, his dad Dave, a longtime coach in college. He's watching today, Dave is. Back home, here is a long 2. Schugel can't get it. Nice rebound inside by Akin. Danny Akin was going up, and a foul called as he was jousting for that rebound. Trammell will pick up his first personal foul for San Diego State.
Interestingly, Utah State is not a great offensive rebounding team, but now they've scored 2 points already on second chance points, and now they get an opportunity to do more. San Diego State, an outstanding defensive rebounding team, has to do a better job blocking out.
So here is Daniel Akin. He is the 6-man award winner. He is from England, a grad student. 4 years he played for Coach Ryan Odom at UMBC. And then last season at California Baptist. And now he is here in his grad year with the Aggies from Logan, Utah. Home at just over 27,000. 3-point Utah State lead. Bradley begins to work. A rope is down low. Funk will defend. Funk has got the ball. He gets it back out to Bairstow. Ahead, looking for Akin, and out of bounds. It goes. It will be Utah State's ball.
That was some aggressive pass right there. I think that was Trammell who did a really nice job getting back and saving an easy basket.
Utah State left here about midnight last night after beating Boise by 10. Long shot won't go that time. Ashworth, one of the best 3-point shooters in college basketball.
But so far, every one of the 3-point attempts has been contested.
Good point. Trammell working down low. This is over Ashworth. Nice shot by Durian Trammell. Averages 10. He played at Seattle University, a transfer. He played in the WAC, and in the WAC, he was #1 in that conference in assists and #1 in steals.
He's very good with that pull-up jump shot. Excellent player in the mid-range.
Ashworth, a lot of congestion inside. Leap and rebound by Micah Parrish.
Again, heavy pressure.
Trammell will penetrate inside into Funk. Out of bounds and 22 on the clock. Aztecs beat San Jose State last night, Dan, in the semifinal by 15 points to get here.
This is really a great job by Trammell getting past the initial line of defense, but Funk comes over, does a really nice job to disrupt that shot without fouling.
RJ Idle-Rock has come in. Sugar will take a breather. With a spin move down low and off the glass, but off that time, Parrish can't get it. It's retrieved by Bairstow. The other way, Funk, Ashworth. Bairstow, the fake and the drive inside, goes in on Trammell, who picked up the foul.
What we're seeing so far is San Diego State has been able to get the ball inside, but even though the shots are close, they haven't been easy shots. The Utah State defense doing an excellent job making those short shots, tough shots.
Trammell picks up his second. Sean Bairstow, a 56% free throw shooter, is at the line. The great athletes from historically black colleges and universities will be on display at the HBCU All-Star Game. It's coming up Sunday, April 2nd, right here on CBS. From Brisbane, Australia. Well, 56% is a pretty representative mark. He's a good shooter, except at the line.
Right, it's funny that he doesn't shoot free throws very well because he shoots almost 42% from beyond the arc.
Adam Seiko is now in. Parrish, and there it goes to Ledee. Ledee is a transfer from Ohio State and TCU. With the ball here is Parrish. He comes in from Oakland University. A rope, Butler, Seiko. A little runner off that baseline. Defended on the play by Ashworth. Volleyballed around. Retrieved by the Aztecs. Seiko back on top. Parrish. Oh, nice pass, and he finds Ledee inside for two.
Again, San Diego State really working hard on getting the ball close to the basket.
Full court pressure. 7 consecutive wins for the team in black, Utah State. They've won those games, those 7 straight games, by an average of 13 points a game. Bairstow, long two. Missed it all.
Even when you're open, you can feel that defensive pressure. You know somebody's coming, and Bairstow just rushed that one a little.
A lot of traffic inside for Butler. They got it off to Ledee, and he was shoved in a congested paint. With a whistle and a foul. A little more than 7 minutes into the first half. Akin picks up his first personal foul.
San Diego State taking the ball into the lane. Not a nice lob pass by Parrish that time, but here again they get into the lane, and it makes for an easy opportunity with Ledee in the middle of the defense.
So Ledee at the line, and as I said, he spent a year at Ohio State, then 2 years at TCU. He is a senior from Houston, a 77% free throw shooter, and here he stands. He averages 8 points a game for the Aztecs, who have won 3 in a row, and San Diego State has won 9 of 10.
And he's one of the guys who comes off the bench. They bring 4 guys off the bench, all of whom can guard, which you have to do to play for San Diego State, but all of whom can score. They get a lot of production from their bench.
Semifinals last night against San Jose. Go ahead, 2 points. Again, we're going to see some full court here. Aztecs lead by 3. Utah State has led by 3 with a couple ties and a couple lead changes. She'll go back in with the ball. Looking to feed, up and in, he puts it through Max Shulga. Honorable mention conference player, his first basket today.
That was really clever. He didn't decide to shoot that until the last second. He was looking to pass it. Got to keep him out of the lane.
Parrish. Backed away, nice defense by Utah State, and picked up inside by Akin. The other way for Ashworth. Again, one of the great three-point shooters. And we'll see it before this one is over for sure. Idle-Rock, and then they go outside. That's a shot which will go down, and Funk hits the triple. He is shooting, Dan, from three-point territory, 39%.
He's a really good three-point shooter, and you're not going to go out there and block the three-point shot, and that's what Brian Dutcher's upset about. that they're trying to jump up and block it. Keep your feet, put your hand up in the air.
Ledee puts it up and through, and that was right over Akin.
That's the kind of offense he can bring in. He's very athletic, very strong, runs very well, but he can make that jump shot.
Shulga with it. Akin the screen. Pick and roll. Akin got it. He's got 3.
And he's the guy who comes off the bench who said he was the 6th man of the year in this conference. He is instant offense. He provides a different sort of skill set than Dorius.
It's Seiko. And Butler, known for his defense, slips it inside. A rope, getting it out. Parrish, triple. Rebound, Ledee climbing the ladder inside, and a foul called as he was trying to work against some pretty heavy pressure with 10:57 to go in the first. Ashworth picks up his first. Funk, who had 6 threes in the quarterfinal, drills the tray here for the Aggies of Utah State, up by 2. Back in Vegas, if you haven't seen TV's hit phenomenon Ghost, now's your chance to get sucked into the hit comedy critics call delightful and laugh out loud funny by catching up on all episodes. Available anytime on Paramount Plus. Moments ago, A.J. Ross caught up with the head coach of the Aztecs, Brian Dutcher.
Coach Brian Dutcher, we saw you with the full court press just a short time ago. What do you think about the pace and the physicality your team has shown so far?
I mean, we want to try to wear them down with our depth, so we're picking up full court. We're not trapping, we're trying to wear them down. And then they're doing a good job on ball screens. They're getting anything they want, so we have to make an adjustment or two.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks.
Dan, we know that San Diego State is one of the best offensive rebounding teams in college basketball, and so far they're showing it. 6 offensive rebounds and 6 second chance points. That's the thing. You get that rebound offensively, you score, maybe even get fouled.
And Ryan Odom told us that he thinks his team has to limit San Diego State to no more than 30% of their own misses. If San Diego State gets more than 30% of their own misses, Ryan Odom told us he thought they'd have a hard time winning the game.
Ledee is at the line with the look right there at Brian Odom. Ledee had a double-double in an early February game for San Diego State against Utah State with 14 points and 10 rebounds. Ledee has the last 7 points. He's come off the bench for the Aztecs. In white. Oh, boy, they're scrappy, aren't they? Diving on the floor. Nice effort there by Butler again. One of the top defenders in this conference.
How about that for a spark off the bench? Guy gets 7 points. And this is just a situation where Shulga doesn't protect the ball. Most of the time, a guy who's reaching across the dribbler's body is going to get called for a foul.
Aggies with the ball, 3rd oldest roster in college basketball. They average 22 years of age.
They're one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country, and they've only made 1 so far.
Funk, great pass inside entry. Ashworth couldn't convert.
I think the ball slipped out of his hands.
I think it did too, Dan. You're right.
And he might have been waiting for shot blockers to come. He's used to shooting 3.
Seiko pickpocketed Ashworth. Racing the other way. Butler will try to converge. Down they go.
Oh, boy, they really had a collision. Ashworth's right back up, though. Butler shaking his hand. This is a situation where Ashworth just picks his pocket, and Utah State doesn't get a lot of steals, but he gets hit after he releases the ball before he comes back down on the ground. So he's an airborne shooter who's vulnerable. And the officials are going to go look at that, Kevin, because when Ashworth leaves his feet, he becomes a vulnerable player. And if they feel there's too much contact there, they could very easily rule that a flagrant foul.
Let's go to our rules analyst, our officiating analyst. That's Gene Steratore. Gene, what'd you see here?
You know, Dan's right as far as this player being airborne and vulnerable. With that said, is, in my opinion, when you watch number 5, Butler, make this play, his play is directly related to the block, the basketball play. I don't think anything that falls in this definition in a flagrant category of being excessive, unwarranted, not basketball related. To me, none of these actions really do apply. He's elevating, his momentum's taking him into the offensive player. Yes, the contact is pretty strong, but it is a basketball play in my opinion. I think they look at this and they move forward without a flagrant.
Well, Gene, I think you're right on that particular instance, but they're going to talk about it a little more.
Working on Butler's hand, as you can see, leads the team in steals. He is a 2-time all-defensive player. Lamont Butler is for the Aztecs of San Diego State.
And Butler may have gotten the worst of that collision. We saw him shaking that hand as he was coming up.
Gene, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So Gene can feel very good because they agreed with him.
Well, every time he comes on, he always agrees with you. I'm going to get him next time on every day. Yeah, Dan is right. I don't know. I wouldn't jump to that conclusion right off the bat. But it's so good to have Gene with us and working over these things. The game is complicated. It moves so fast. There's a lot of intensity, certainly at the college level. And, man, are there some physical plays that need guys like him to translate for us, and he does so well. We thank Gene, and Ashworth is at the line. He is a great free throw shooter, one of the best in college basketball. Top 20 in the nation is Stephen Ashworth at almost 90% from the stripe. Bradley is there. Idle Rock was defending, and they go down low. Johnson. Funk is defending. A leaping rebound. Akin lost it. And they go in once again to Ledee, as Johnson was in there fighting for it too, with about 10 minutes gone in this first half of the championship game of the Mountain West.
And once again, we see San Diego State from point-blank range, not able to grab it. Ledee tips it. Akin gets it, but he actually trips over his own teammate. Utah State had a great opportunity to get that rebound, just couldn't snare it.
Ashworth has just picked up his second personal foul. They bring Bairstow back in.
Ashworth played extensively in the second half yesterday.
He did.
With 3 personal fouls. He picked up 3 in the first half.
Bradley. Now Trammell. Long shot. Nice rebound inside by Johnson. Another offensive rebound. 3. Bradley no. Akin with the leaping board, and it's off to Bairstow. Aggies are one of 15 teams with 5 players who average double figures at Division I. They can be as explosive as any team in college basketball.
They've also got a lot of guys who can handle the ball.
Yes. Funk. Shot clock at 4. Idle Rock from London will go inside.
Oh, boy!
It's a 12-3 run by Utah State. And they've gone 5 of 6 since they began 3 of 12. Bradley right through the defense.
And when you're struggling, that's where you want to go. Your best guy, particularly a guy like that, who can get the ball to the basket.
Bradley's got 4. Shulga. Good feed. Akin on the doorstep.
That Shulga-Akin combination off the screen and roll. That's what Brian Dutcher was talking about when he spoke with AJ. San Diego State has just had no answer for that.
Bradley will dance on Idle Rock. Waddell, a fake and travel. So the Aztecs, who have been the #1 seed 3 of the past 4 seasons, including this, are down by 6 here in the first half.
And we talk about the guys for Utah State who can handle the ball while Idle Rock can get to the basket. And I don't know anybody gets to the basket better than Bradley in the Mountain West. But Idle Rock, big, strong kid.
He is big, isn't he? Idle Rock played his college ball at UMBC, University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Second season with the Aggies.
6'4", 225. That's good size
it is.
For a guard.
Shulga. Sean Bairstow. A pound! Put down Dorius. He's got 6, equaling what he scores a game. And the Aggies have their biggest lead this afternoon. Quick game summary, 16-5 Utah State run over the last 5 minutes. They're coached by Ryan Odom, who spoke with our A.J. Ross moments ago.
Coach Ryan Odom, you said you had to set the tone early in this one. So far, your guys have found more opportunities inside than outside. What do you think about their aggressiveness attacking the rim?
Yeah, I mean, certainly it's part of our game plan. We've been trying to get behind the defense as much as we can. They're really tough to play against. They're so good on defense, and they're really good offensively at rebounding the basketball inside. And so we're trying to fight as hard as we can, but it's a long game, as you know, so we're doing our best.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks.
So right now, his team, Utah State, is -5 in rebounding. But Dan, points in the paint, a big story here early, plus 10 points, 18-8. The Aggies have outscored San Diego State in the lane.
We've been talking about the fact that San Diego State has been able to get into the lane, but Brian Dutcher's guys haven't been able to score in there. Utah State playing really good defense once the ball gets into the lane. And the screen and rolls by Utah State have really been productive for them here early.
They're going up on top. Ball is deflected, retrieved by Parrish. Mensah back in. Bradley's got the ball. Hamoda will defend him. Bradley, a 2-pointer. And Shulga's got it.
And they're not trying to be a racehorse, but they want to push the ball up and initiate the offense as early as possible so that defense can't get set.
Mensah's on Shulga. I mentioned this, the defensive player of the year, Mensah. Alters that shot, but retrieved on an offensive rebound. Bairstow. He'll get the screen, he'll get the switch, and he'll feed. Funk. Dorius. Wide open. Hamoda 3. He is the first player in Division I from Bahrain.
And he had a wide open shot. I think that's the most wide open anybody has been in this game. Just great ball movement.
Outside Bradley, he'll fire a 3. It's a Funk rebound. 6.5 to play in the half. Shulga will make the drive into Mensah. Hamoda the fake. He'll fire. Mensah with the rebound.
I thought Bairstow passed one up and Hamoda passed one up too.
San Diego State plays a lot of players. Brian Dutcher, their coach, says it's the deepest team we've had here. At the line, 15-footer pure. Micah Parrish.
And again, he's another one of those guys who comes off the bench who can really score.
He played in the Horizon League for Oakland U, and he was a defensive player. Nice shot right there. In the past couple games, Parrish has been struggling with his shot. 4 of 17 in the quarters and semis combined. That was a good sign to see him hit right there for the Aztecs. Inside, Bairstow. Outside, Shulga. Defended by Butler. Now Mensah. Rebound by Johnson.
Mensah's really good when he switches those screens.
Johnson, Euro step inside and can't get it to drop. Out. It'll be the Aggies' ball.
And we're talking about the ball movement here in the corner. That's Hamoda. And you watch, everybody's eyes are looking this way. Nobody's paying any attention at all to Hamoda. Bradley is the guy who's guarding him, and he goes to cover up on Dorius, and that's just a great pass by the big guy to know where his teammate was.
Utah State in black with the ball has a NCAA net ranking of number 18. The Aztecs number 15. It is almost for sure these two teams are in. The winner here, of course, automatic bid getting in. But this conference is hoping 4 teams, Boise State included, and they're hoping Nevada will get in with a pretty good net themselves.
Well, no question, Nevada's had an outstanding season. They're a team that has lost a couple of games down the stretch here. So they're going to be sweating it out tomorrow.
Ashworth is playing with 2 fouls. He's on the wing with it right now. Bairstow down low, collision. Mensah hits the deck and a whistle. It will be on Mensah.
We're just talking about how well Mensah moves his feet. Brian Dutcher is very upset with that call. Mensah, you have to get initial guarding position, which is you got to be facing the dribbler with both feet on the floor, and he never really got there. But again, that's a bang-bang call, and you can see why Brian Dutcher would be upset about it.
Bairstow will be at the line. He is the youngest of 7. He had a sister who played some college basketball at Utah State. He had a brother who played college basketball at New Mexico.
And the other thing that Brian Dutcher is upset about is he doesn't think that should have been a shooting foul.
Aggies get it right there. Aggies from the line are 3 of 7. Aztecs 3 of 4. Under 5 to go in the first half. Title game, Mountain West. Bradley has it.
And the Aztecs simply haven't been able to put the ball in the basket. They've been fine defensively.
It's a shove as Lamont Butler was beginning to accelerate.
Even though Brian Dutcher's concerned about the ball screens. Driving to the basket, there's the contact. And the whole thing is the officials decided he was in his shooting motion. If you're in your shooting motion, then it's a shooting foul. And that is a very close play. And you can see where Brian Dutcher, who's not the most objective observer out there when it comes to San Diego State, might disagree with that.
Ashworth, who is a first-team all-conference selection, has just picked up his 3rd personal foul. Probably now on the bench for the final 4.5 of this first half in Vegas. Mensah to Butler. Idle rack is on him. A rope is down low. Got it! Leaning into him in there was Sean Bairstow.
Boy, and they continue to force the ball inside, driving it into the lane, dumping it off. That's a really nice pass. A rope works so hard in there for position.
A crook, a rope.
They gave that little pump fake, got Bairstow up in the air, and once you get up in the air down there, there's not a lot you can do defensively.
Dan, we talk about San Diego State a lot. They're always in this championship game, it seems, since the start of 2019-20. Since the start of that season, so the past 4 years, the Aztecs have the 3rd best record in college basketball. Gonzaga #1, then Houston, then Brian Dutcher's San Diego State team. They're over Kansas and Baylor, rounding out the top 5 over the last 4 years. Pretty good company. Okay, they have just changed Ashworth's 2nd foul. It goes to Akin. So Ashworth only has 2. That is a big story. They just changed it moments ago. Bairstow inside. Torius! It's picked up. Bradley had it, knocked away by Funk. They're on the floor. They're playing Twister. They want a timeout. And they got it.
Who got it?
San Diego State.
Okay.
The kind of intensity that March always brings, especially in a conference title game like this. The Aztecs, the Aggies on CBS. We have a beautiful day here in Vegas. Tonight, 8:30 Eastern, join CBS Sports Network in Frisco, Texas, as the Conference USA Men's Championship tips off with UAB and FAU battling for an automatic bid in this year's NCAA tournament. There are a lot of bowl teams, Dan, rooting for Florida Atlantic tonight.
Absolutely. The Owls have had a fabulous season. You see they've won 30 games. They've got a net ranking of 14. So they're probably going to get in whether they win or lose. And as you say, if UAB gets in, then somebody drops out. And somebody who wants Florida Atlantic to win very badly is the commissioner of the Mountain West, Gloria Nevarez. You know, she's worried about her, particularly the Wolfpack of Nevada. They're one of the ones that people are talking about maybe in, maybe out. And so They want all the definites, do Gloria Nevarez and Nevada. They want the definites in the tournament. They don't want any of these bid thieves in there.
She now replaces the retired Craig Thompson, who served this conference well in college sports so well. Nice dive inside. It's Lamont Butler slashing for his first 2 today.
And San Diego State has really struggled offensively. They're shooting only 30%. They haven't made a 3, and yet they're still within 5 points. Their defense is keeping them in the game.
Utah State, 6 assists, only 1 turnover so far.
They're really ramping up the pressure here.
Idle Rock held it. Bradley was on him. Timeout taken by Utah State in black. And we step aside. Coming up on AT&T at the half from our CBS studios in New York, Greg Clark, Jay and Seth give us their first half analysis, update the teams that are in the tournament, catch us up on all the scores and all the highlights. What a weekend in college basketball. Plus preview tomorrow's A10 and Big Ten championship games coming up on AT&T at the half.
And of course, this is what Jerry says: San Diego State and Boise State comfortably in, Utah State and Nevada among the last 4 in, and that is an uncomfortable position.
Shulga will take it inside. It's out of bounds. The Aggies have got it.
And Kevin, of course, we're talking about bids and bubbles and everything. If Utah State, well, whoever wins this game, Utah State or San Diego, it's an automatic bid. So if Utah State wins, they don't have to worry about anything.
Idle Rock got it. Shulga in the corner. Into Butler with all his defensive tools, but a quick foul there called on Butler, number 2 on him.
Well, actually, Idle Rock created that play. The really quick pass to an open Shulga forced Butler to get out there a little quicker than Butler wanted to defend the 3, and that allowed Shulga the opportunity to go by and draw the foul.
Trammell will come back in. Shulga played on youth national teams for Ukraine.
Shulga has been very quiet.
Working here, Idle Rock. Shulga, the bump, the fake. Shot clock at 4. Funk. Oh, a rope! A rope! Got on a rope! Swats it away. Bradley. Trammell into Shulga with a spinner. Mensah rejected inside by Dorius.
Kevin, Mensah was working for that offensive rebound even before the ball got beyond the top of the key. He was got great position inside, and that's why he gets that rebound. And Dorius with the attempted block. And it's interesting, when Mensah's in the game, Dorius is in the game. If Dorius goes out of the game, then Ledee comes in the game.
Dorius picks up his first personal foul. Mensah at the stripe. He gets this extra year of eligibility due to COVID in the year that the NCAA granted. A lot of players all over the country getting the benefit of that in what was felt to be a lost year. Trammell will check out. They bring back in Seiko, who is the winningest player in conference history. He's another player that took advantage of the COVID eligibility offered by the NCAA.
And I think that has really made college basketball better. You have so many veteran guys who are sticking around.
San Diego State is on a 6-0 run to within 4. They've trailed by as many as 11 to Utah State with the ball right now. Idle Rock. Mensah there.
Boy, Dorius has a mismatch against Bradley inside. They can't see him.
Mensah the foul. Idle Rock played that perfectly.
Yeah, he sure did, but I mean, Dorius is a little frustrated. He was alone, not alone, but he was open inside. And again, you don't need to jump on trying to block a three-point shot. Just get in good position, get your hand up, pressure the shot. Of course, this guy's a shot blocker, and so that's what they do. They try to block shots.
One of the best in the history of the program, one of the best in college basketball. 3 shots coming up for Idle Rock. So the Aggies in black for Utah State played in the conference championship game here 3 of the last 4 years. Get another try.
You know, they have struggled from the free throw line.
3 of 8. CBS Sports proudly celebrates Women's History Month, recognizing the outstanding contribution of women and girls and all the things they have done and made on and off the field of play. And you included your wife there. Had a career in college basketball, right?
She was just among a group of women honored at the University of Virginia for being a part of the 50th anniversary of the first intercollegiate sports teams for women at Virginia.
Congratulations to her and all the women out there that do such an incredible job. Look at the drive right here by Parrish. Took it into Dorius.
And Idle Rock is going over and telling Dorius, and he's absolutely correct, just keep your hands up. Dorius picked up that foul because he jumped up in the air. His position was fine. And watch here, he's going to bring those hands down. If he just leaves his hands up, he's fine.
Second on him. Micah Parrish will be at the free throw line.
In fact, if he leaves those hands up, that might be an offensive foul.
For the Aztecs, with their Micah Parrish at the free throw line right now, a 77% free throw shooter. This is the 6th consecutive year for San Diego State coming to the championship game. Can you imagine that? 6 straight years they've been in here, but they've only won 2 championships. They've been a runner-up 3 times. 8 of the last 9 years they've been here. Coach Fisher had him here, and Brian Dutcher, who is a longtime assistant. Brian Dutcher, who's in his 6th year, has been an assistant and part of this program for parts of 24 seasons after he, of course, was with Steve Fisher up at the University of Michigan and part of the recruitment of the Fab Five. Weber and Jackson and that incredible group. Shalon Howard, here comes Idle Rock. And we're closing in on 90 seconds to play in the first half of the championship of the Mountain West. Sugar with the head fake into Seiko. Scoops it up. Rebound Seiko.
Again, he went in there looking to pass, I think, Kevin, so he didn't have enough oomph on it.
Bradley fearlessly. Rebound inside is plucked by Ledee and a foul.
It is so hard to maintain your rebounding position if you're a defender when you're having to go help out against guys driving into the lane. And again, we see that happen.
Aztecs are used to getting in the NCAA tournament. They've been there 9 times in the last 13 seasons. 2 in a row. And now 3 in a row this year. They're number 20 in the rankings.
Well, and Bradley, they just took Bradley out of the game, but it's a one-on-one opportunity, so he's got to go back in and shoot it. Or is Bradley not the shooter?
Ledee will be.
Ledee would be the shooter. Okay, then Bradley doesn't have to come back in the game.
He does not.
He can if he wants to, but he doesn't have to.
I mean, wants a breather. 7 points and 7 rebounds for Jaden Ledee, a senior from Houston, Texas. Last 2 years at TCU.
Kevin, and you can see down low for Utah State, big number 12, Shimon Zapalo in the game. He's not a guy that plays a lot of minutes, has only played in 10 games all year, only played a total of 40 minutes all year, but because of foul trouble, he's got to come in and try to hold the fort.
Wow. A rope got the miss. Seiko controls on top. Idle Rock will defend.
That was some rebound.
It was. And that's what they do well. Their offensive rebounding is off the charts. Seiko 3, a rope the screen. A rope set the screen, opens up the triple. And it's a 1-point game in Vegas before halftime.
And that's what Seiko does. His job is to come in the game, play defense, and make threes.
Utah State has not hit from the field in over 6 minutes. Idle Rock bulldozing. Rebound inside, clean by Ledee. Seiko with it.
Just, we're not seeing the crisp ball movement that we saw earlier from Utah State, and that's because San Diego State continues to ramp up the defensive pressure.
A rope. This is for the lead. Idle Rock taken away. Outside, this is for the lead. It's a miss right there by Parrish. Clutched onto by Shuga. Time to fire. Approaching 10 seconds to play in the half. A rope defense. Shuga, 3. Rebound inside, claimed by Parrish and the Aztecs. Down by 11. San Diego State is clawed back to within 1 at halftime, finishing the half, Dan, on a 13-3 run.
A 13-3 run keyed by their defense, Kevin, and the ability to score inside.
To A.J. Ross.
Coach Odom, you knew coming into this one you would have to withstand some of those runs from San Diego State. What more do you need to see from your guys defensively and on the boards to get some more separation in this one?
Yeah, much better offense, more composed offense. We got to work to get open. We're not working to get open right now, and they have a lot to do with that. They're doing a good job of pressuring us. Obviously, we've got some guys on the bench right now that typically play 30-plus minutes a game. I thought the guys did a fine job just, holding it down there at the end. But to hold them to 28 points, that's pretty good.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks.
Aggies missed their last 8 shots from the floor. They didn't shoot well and missed every shot they took from the field over the last 7 minutes of the first half. We'll take you to Greg Gumbel and company in our New York studio for the AT&T at the half, right after these messages on CBS. CBS Sports coverage of the Mountain West Championship is sponsored by Sonic. This is how we Sonic. Capital One, what's in your wallet? And by AT&T 5G, fast, reliable, secure. That's using your head. Let's now take a look at the Jersey Mike Subs first half stats. One of the best three-point shooting teams in college basketball, Utah State. They've only made 2. And look at the points in the paint. And look at the points off turnovers as you just circle right there.
Kevin, the points off turnovers really are the story of the game because San Diego State usually dominates that category.
Yes. The second half is going to be intense. We know that. How much of these teams have left in the tank after they both played late last night?
Of course, that's a really good question. And we sold this game at the top as the San Diego State defense against the Utah State offense. But it's been defense against defense.
And intense.
Utah State's defense, you can see they forced only 4 turnovers, but they have 8 points. Here's what they've done well. San Diego State has been able to get the ball inside almost at will, but as the defense collapses, they haven't been able to convert. Even when they kick it out, Utah State covers the perimeter and they get the ball into traffic, and they're able to prevent San Diego State from scoring. Brian Dutcher told his guys at halftime, look, if we can just make layups, this game is over, but those are hotly contested layups. And I agree with them that if they can make them, that'd be much better, but that's tough to do.
Almost half of San Diego State's points have been second chance points. 12 of the 27, 28 points. Here, Shulga. Funk. He's been kind of quiet. Just starting the second half. Ashworth inside. A nest of defenders kicks it out. 3, no. It's a miss right there by Bairstow.
Now 2 for 10 as a team are the Aggies from beyond three-point range, and they cannot win this game unless they make some threes.
With San Diego State working, let's swing it over to A.J. Ross.
Well, guys, with that scoring run to end the half, Brian Dutcher told me he likes the way his team was starting to get downhill and attacking the basket, but they have to finish. On defense, he said they were getting beat when they were hedging on screens, so they started switching, finding some success. Look for them to keep switching and applying pressure in this second half, guys.
Butler kicks it out. Trammell, 3, no. Dorius has got the ball. Funk will get it up court now, taken by Ashworth. And again, the team thought he had 3 fouls, so he set. Up high, Dorius climbing the ladder on the alley-oop try, and they miss.
He's got to catch that ball, Kevin, and come down and lay it in the basket.
Neither team can hit. A miss outside right there by Trammell. San Diego State led early by 3. They've trailed by as many as 11.
And that's what A.J. was talking about right there, Kevin, a switch on the screen so they haven't had those screen and roll opportunities.
Mensah defends Bears. Oh, he blocked the ball, but a great pickup, and Dorius got it, and Funk lasered it in with a sweet assist.
Boy, that ball went right. I mean, it bounced off the board about as hard as it can go, but it went right to Funk, who immediately fired it back. The ball goes off the board, it goes right out to Funk, and then they're standing underneath the basket, and Funk finds him.
Johnson, Butler, Sugar will defend. A rope is in. A rope will try climbing into the defense of Ekin. A rope with 5.
A rope's been their best guy, their best finisher inside. And again, that tells you that San Diego State is one of their strengths, the guys they can bring off the bench.
Utah State by 1. Sugar. Funk. It's a 3. And put back up and off. Akin can't get it. Rebound by Butler.
Boy, if you're Akin, you want that one back. That's one you have to have.
Trammell. And he'll look for the lead. Johnson can't get that one to go.
But again, they continue to get the ball inside, Kevin, but San Diego State has a tough time converting.
Utah State is shooting 32% from the field. There's a whistle, and there's a foul, and Trammell will pick it up. Much to the chagrin of Brian Dutcher, Trammell number 3.
But there was contact there, and Ashworth went down. So with this contact, nice tip by Trammell, but with the contact right there, it may have been inadvertent, but it gave him an advantage, and the officials have to recognize that he was put at a disadvantage was Ashworth, so they call the foul.
Funk 3. Another miss. Nice aggressive rebound, hustling inside. Bairstow. Shulga. Funk against Johnson. Chiseling. Setting. A rope with the rebound. San Diego State is shooting 29%. Utah State is shooting 31%. Utah State has missed 16 of 17. 3, no. Bradley, a rope, whistle, foul inside on the Aggies and on Akin. He's got 3.
That's 3 on Akin. We've been talking about the offensive rebounding for San Diego State, and a rope. He's just so strong and so athletic inside. Does a great job getting position.
All right, are these tired teams? Are these nerves?
I don't think it's either one, Kevin. These are two teams who are very, very familiar with one another. Each knows what the other's trying to do. They both play very, very hard, and this is for there's an awful lot at stake here.
Bradley for the lead. And they're first since early in the game.
Utah State has to figure out a way to get Ashworth open for some shots.
Akin with the ball. Ainsworth 3. He got it.
Okay, maybe he doesn't need to be very open. That was not bad defense, but Ashworth knocked that one down.
He's a top 10 3-point shooter in all of college basketball. It's Bradley with the stutter step and the drive, and he's hit 2 in a row.
And he played through some contact there. And he missed a couple of those in the first half, but you expect him to get going here in the second.
Here are the Aggies, 26-7 record. Tied for second in the regular season. Crossover Ashworth triple. Rebound collected inside Lamont Butler. Bradley on the wing meets the defense of Bairstow. It's a rope and Funk. Backing, spinning. And Shulga with the rebound.
Shulga's another guy who's a good scorer who just hasn't scored today.
Back in the screen, poking it away, a rope. The long reach of the Aztecs. Under 15 to go. Couple threes back to back, fun to watch.
What is fun to watch, and we haven't seen very many threes at all in the game, and here we get a couple of them.
Then, March Madness officially begins with the exclusive unveiling of this year's bracket of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Selection Show. That's all tomorrow here on CBS. The clock is ticking, and the clock is ticking too for a couple of teams trying to really mess up the whole works. These are bid stealers. Tulane in the American getting beaten badly right now, we understand, and UAB against FAU in Conference USA. These are teams not expected to make it, but if they win, they get the automatic bid and thus take a bid from maybe another team more deserving or a better overall season than them.
Well, when we talk about who's in and who's out, we're generally talking about at-large bids. But if you win your conference championship, you're in.
Shulga with the missed three.
Shulga is now 1 for 9.
Amazing.
And 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. In fact, the three top offensive players for the Aggies, Shulga, Ashworth, and Funk, are now 4 for 21, 3 for 13 from 3.
The drive inside is good by Butler. Bursting in there, he's got 4.
Utah State is a team that puts offensive pressure on you. They've been playing very well defensively, but they have to start putting the ball in the basket.
San Diego State by 3. Ashworth throws it away. Picked up by Butler. Numbers the other way. From behind, he hits the following teammate right there, Parrish. Butler again. The collision. And the ball's out of bounds, and a foul on the play. And that is going to go on Lamont Butler. Number 3.
Butler trying to make something happen here. And Bairstow, a very good defensive player. Butler, had he continued to his left, he's around Bairstow, but he tries to put the ball back in his right hand. Not only loses the ball, but puts his shoulder right into Bairstow's chest. And we've seen so far this entire season, that's an automatic.
By the way, the Mountain West is number 5 in net ranking as a conference. It's the Big 12, the Big 10, the SEC, the Big East, and then the Mountain West. And back of them, the Pac-12 and the ACC below the Mountain West. And there's an offensive foul. Going inside and drawing it right there was Bairstow. He's got 2.
He picked up that foul because he threw that arm out there. He looks like he's got a lane to the basket, but when that left arm goes out there into the chest of his opponent, he pushes off. I mean, the official, he's got a perfect angle for that. And again, that's another automatic call. You throw that arm out there, you're going to get called for a charge.
Bairstow will sit. Utah State, in the last 13.5 minutes of game time, Dan, they've made just 2 shots from the floor. Trammell. It's a 3. Seiko partially deflected on the play. Partially deflected. I think Akin was there and got a hand on it. But Shulga.
Again, Utah State's defense continues to be solid. They just have to put the ball in the basket.
They've improved so much defensively from the beginning of the year, have the Aggies. Approaching 13 to play in the second half of the championship game. Funk 3. Ooh, across the chops. That will be Hamoda knocking it away. And it'll be an inbound by San Diego State.
Funk shoots almost 40% from beyond the arc. And now he's 1 for 6 out there.
Just going for the ball.
And they just got their arms tangled up.
They sure did.
If Gene Steratore was talking to us, he would call that a basketball play.
We should get Gene on just to talk to him, even when there's no controversy. There's a shot. Parrish, no, foul.
Akin is going to pick up the foul.
He sure is. Akin is going to get it. And Akin picks up his 4th, and he is in trouble. And now words between the 2 teams.
And with Akin in foul trouble, you can see here he basically just gets tangled up with Ledee. But with Akin in foul trouble, then suddenly Utah State is going to have a very difficult time defending a more athletic lineup. Dorius comes in the game, but he's going to have his hands full trying to defend Ledee.
Rope is in. Johnson leaves. There goes Akin. He's from London. Grad student from the United Kingdom. A rope and Funk. Handoff. And this will go to Trammell. A rope aggressive. Wheels inside. Rebound by Dorius, the 7-1 center. He's got 5 rebounds. Utah State has missed 19 of 21 shots. Shulga. Funk with a 3. Stepped out of bounds. He sure did. Yep, stepped out of bounds.
This is really amazing. His foot right there. Larry Spalding all over that. And of course, I mean, the defensive pressure has been so much, you can understand him trying to get more space, but the court is only 50 feet wide.
Utah State lost to the Aztecs twice this season. In San Diego by 10 and Logan by 2 with the whistle as they go in.
And that's going to be against Funk, I think, reaching over the back. A rope continues to do a great job getting position in the lane area.
2 fouls on Funk.
You just have to wonder how long this Utah State defense can hold the fort.
Number 1 seed against the number 3 seed in the Mountain West. Parrish. A rope. Seiko. Shot clock down to 5. It's Ledee. Oh, he got him in a blunder. What a move inside. Ledee, count it. Down goes Dorius. Count the 2. Basket is good. And the lead is 5. Yep, he got him in a blunder. Woo, wow, what a move. You're watching the Mountain West Championship game on CBS. Bracket season is here. Show off your college hoops expertise this March by playing the official bracket game of the NCAA. Get the CBS Sports app and be a part of the madness. Beautiful look at Las Vegas. We come here a lot for the NFL and for this college basketball championship game. Now let's get some fast analysis presented by AT&T 5G.
Well, when Utah State was playing well, they were moving the ball, drawing the defense, finding the open guy. That hasn't happened because the San Diego State defense, watch these guys swarm. There's just no place to go with the ball. There's such pressure. Every time somebody catches the ball, there's an Aztec right in front of him. And that leads to where you have to shoot it now because the shot clock's running out. And a Rope, who has played a very strong game off the bench, blocks the shot.
Utah State is shooting 30% from the field. And the Aztecs, not much better, 33%. San Diego State, Dan, has outscored Utah State, the team with the black uniforms, 24-7 over the last 15 minutes of this game.
Think about that.
A
college basketball team, one of the top offensive teams in the country, has scored 7 points in 15 minutes of game action.
Dan, the number 2 3-point percentage shooting team in Division I, Utah State, one of the best teams in the country at threes. And you've said it a couple times, only 3 of 17 from distance this afternoon.
So we're looking at something here, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. No question about who the foul is on or who was the person who was fouled. And Ledee at the free throw line.
I think they're just confirming who the foul was on.
Well, he drives to the basket, and we said this matchup is going to be a very tough matchup. Dorius simply cannot stay with Ledee if Ledee's able to drive the ball all the way from the free throw line. He's not quick enough, Dorius.
San Diego State. 3-point play by Ledee. So he has 11.
Now we've got a lot of time left in the game, but this becomes a very important possession for Utah State. They have to get something going offensively.
There's a foul, and it's on Seiko on top. He's trying to stay with Matt Shulga. By the way, the kid that just hit those free throws, that free throw, and got the 3-point play for the Aztecs, he's the only player in double figures with 11 in this game. And we've got About 11 and a half to go in it.
Well, we've had hardly any points scored.
No. Shulga, a rope is there. Into a rope again, trying to jab at him and got it. And now he has 4.
That's an important basket for Shulga. That's only his second basket of the game.
Ledee from 16, bullseye.
He's going to have some room out there because Dorius is afraid if he gets too close to him, Ledee is going to drive by.
Ashworth with it. 6 points. Makes a move. Trammell defending on the floor with the rope. They all are grabbing the ball in a tie-up. It will be San Diego State's ball.
Ashworth is not a guy who is going to create his own shot off the dribble in a one-on-one situation, and he loses the ball there trying to do it. Great hustle by a rope. Ashworth is the kind of a guy, we talked about him before the game, he's constantly moving without the ball, but San Diego State has done a great job chasing him. He simply cannot get open with that off-the-ball movement.
Not big numbers for a rope. He's done a wonderful job this afternoon. With his defense, tenacity, he has scored. Inside here they go, Ledee. And he's beginning to heat up with 15 points. And the lead for San Diego State is 8. It's their biggest this afternoon. Inside, Dorius. They'll flush it. He's got 10. He averages 6.
That's the first time in a while we've seen that screen and roll work. So now, recognizing that Dorius can't guard Ledee, Utah State drops back into a zone.
Bradley inside. Deflected by Funk. Picked up by Ashworth. Racing the other way. Got the screen. He'll survey, and Funk will drive with a floater on the fly.
Again, they get a turnover and they push the ball up. The more you can play against the San Diego defense that's a little bit disorganized, the better off you are.
Trammell, Ledee free to fire. Dorius the rebound. He's got 6 boards and 10 points. He hadn't scored in the quarterfinals or semifinals of this tournament, and he's put in 10 today in the championship game. Ashworth. Shulga into Trammell. Hard shot. Taken by Shulga.
San Diego State, they just scramble around. You can't get an open look.
Knocked away with the leaping knock that time by Johnson. Shot clock at 7. A foul is called on the perimeter as Shulga was moving. It will go on Trammell. He has got 4 for San Diego State.
That switch to the zone defense has really helped Utah State. They've been able to generate a couple of turnovers, get the ball up the court, and they finally scored on the offensive end. They've scored on 2 consecutive possessions. So even as poorly as they have played offensively, they're still within 4 points.
Parrish comes in for Seiko for the Aztecs. Screen, Dorius 3, Ashworth. Short, just does not have the stroke today. Rebound by Butler. Parrish, he'll take fire from 3. Leaping rebound inside is taken by Bairstow. Ashworth, Bairstow, Idle Rock, a fake and a drive. With 8:37 to go in the second half.
Kevin, lots of times we talk about contested plays, contested shots, contested drives. I can tell you, every single thing in this game has been contested by both teams. Every pass, every shot, every drive.
Ensa comes back in. A rest now for Ledee. Parrish just picked up his first personal foul. Oh, cutting. Good feed. Idle Rock hit the cutting Bairstow. Foul, San Diego State.
And that's not a bad foul by San Diego State. A very good offensive out-of-bounds play. Bairstow just in the corner, comes straight to the ball. But again, Bairstow, he's only a 56% free throw shooter.
Foul will go on Parrish for the second time. They're still at the stripe. CBS tomorrow. Don't miss a new episode of the hit show East New York, starring Amanda Warren, Jimmy Smits, and Richard Kind. A new East New York returns tomorrow after a new equalizer with Queen Latifah on CBS. A 3-seed the Aggies against the 1-seed today. And Dan, a 3-seed in this Mountain West tournament, has only won a championship game one time. Utah State on a 6-0 run.
Staying in the zone are the Aggies.
Inside and hard. Johnson skies.
He jumped over everybody, including a 7-footer. Wow. That's one way to beat the zone.
Keyshawn Johnson, 2-year starter. Ashworth was free. Approaching 8 to play in the second half. Idle Rock. Little crossover here. He's working on the defensive Parrish. It's a rebound by Mensa. He has got 8.
Utah State's a team that emphasizes ball movement, and this San Diego State defense has turned them into one-on-one guys.
Parrish way off. Wow. Idle Rock gathers in the loose ball. 7.5 to go. Bairstow, Dorius, size advantage on Parrish. He's got 12. He's doubled what he averages a game.
You heard Brian Dutcher tell AJ they were switching the screens. Well, that time Utah State made him pay for the switch. You got a 7-footer against a 6'6" guy. Nice pass inside.
3, Bradley. Idle Rock was defending. It's an offensive rebound. Another one. Parrish has it. They'll reset. 7 to play. Parrish outside. Driving. Butler kicks it out. It's a 3. It's there by Parrish. Controlled by the Aggies. Ashworth.
Oh, my.
Dorius knocked away. The quick hands of Parrish. And the ball ricochets out of bounds. 6.5 to go. 6 consecutive years San Diego State has advanced to the championship game. Right now, they lead by 2 on CBS. CBS Sports coverage of the Mountain West Championship is sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings, the greatest of all times. Allstate reminding you that basketball season is mayhem. And by Buick, the official SUV of the NCAAB. Championship game, top seed San Diego State leads Utah State by 2 in trying to sweep. We've seen it 5 times in the conference. Boise State did it last year. San Diego State did it 2 years ago. Nevada, New Mexico, and these same Aztecs in 2006. They've gotten a 15-point performance from Ledee this afternoon.
Well, we talked about their bench, and Ledee has been the main guy off the bench. You mentioned, not only does he have the 15 points, Kevin, he's been fouled 6 times, so he's really been able to put some pressure on the Aggies. They've had to sit guys down. They've credited him with 9 rebounds. We understand from San Diego State to actually he only has 8, but he's still closing in on a double-double.
These Utah State kids play a lot of minutes. They don't have near the depth that San Diego State does. Sugar, they got a switch, and Mensa's on it.
You have to take advantage of those switches.
Shot clock at 4. Sugar knocked away. Mensa may have gotten it away. It's a 3. It's a 3.
And they're going to look. They're going to look.
That was a funky shot. And right now, they'll see if it was a 3 or a 2.
I think they're looking to see if he beat the shot clock, Kevin.
And that is at the root of this look at again. Let's watch it here. Clearly a 3.
But the question becomes, is the ball out of his hand?
We couldn't see it on that particular shot. Watch it here. Watch the light in the clock. It is almost simultaneous, isn't it, Dan? It's very close. As it stands now, Utah State with a 1-point lead, but we'll see.
And keep in mind, Kevin, they called this a good basket. Boy, that's close.
It is close.
Boy, that's close. It looks like it's, I think it's out of his hand. It's just off his fingertips. But remember, they called it a good basket. So you have to make the call, and then you go over in your review, and the review has to be indisputable.
Well, as we know, the points have been hard to come by. Gene Steratore is going to join us. Gene, we need a trained eye here. We need someone like you to decipher this. Help us on this one.
Well, at the mercy of the fact that I'm going to agree with Dan Barner right now on everything that I've seen so far, Kevin.
Oh, my goodness, Gene.
I think this is the best angle that we have, guys, too. And I just don't see something that shows me indisputable visual evidence there. But, boy, we are right into the frame by frame, and you can see the way that David Hall is kind of even crouching at the monitor, how close it is for him as well. This is a one-frame deal on this one.
Well, this is just an outstanding play by Shulga to even get that ball there. And that is so close.
Gene, it's almost when it leaves his fingertips or still, we can't tell, right? When he fires.
And if you can't tell, then that means if you go with the call that was made.
Which was good on the floor. Yeah. Gene, when you were going through these things and you were officiating all those years in the college game, I know you wanted to take your time, but at the same time, right, you got your own clock in the back of your head saying, wait a minute, we got to make sure that we're efficient with this as well.
You are so right, Kevin, and I can tell you in these situations, as much as it's tough for us to watch these, when you are over there, seconds feel like minutes.
They waved it off.
Gene, they just waved it off. Are you surprised?
Yeah. Well, you know, not surprised because they're taking a really detailed look, and as they were over there watching frame by frame, if they could look and see that, and again, this could be just a tip of a fingertip, right, that's still on that, that they had seen something there in that much detail to let them wave that off. So, you know, kudos to them for taking their time and getting it right.
Thank you, Gene. We're always right going to you. They go inside here. Johnson got it, and he got tangled up with Bairstow.
Kevin, but I cannot tell you what a big reversal that is.
Huge. It's a 1-point lead for them. Now they're down by 2.
They're down by 2, and they're again trying to stop San Diego State.
Huge, Dan, you're right. As hard as points and threes have been together this afternoon, clearly every basket is huge. It's Bradley inside.
And Bradley, Bradley converts. That's an opportunity that's presented to San Diego State, and Bradley converts it.
He has 11 points. Second player for the Aztecs to get in double figures. Under 6 to go in the championship game. The lead 4 for the Aztecs. Funk again. Akin is there. Kicks it out. Bairstow. Akin. Travel.
Bairstow passes up a shot. You don't need to pass up. Bairstow's got to squeeze that one off. He passed up a shot and threw it inside to Akin. He throws it in trouble. Akin is right underneath the basket. There's very little he can do, and he gets called for the traveling violation.
How about Bairstow and Akin, the great sharpshooters, a combined 3 of 13 overall, 1 of 6 from 3. Ashworth is their leading scorer. Bairstow over 10 a game. It's a 3. Seiko, no. Akin up there, parachutes in, grabs his 5th rebound. Ashworth the other way, bursting, and he'll get a screen, and he'll fire.
That's what we're talking about with Ashworth. He gives up the ball, he keeps running, he gets it back. He's really good off the dribble when he can wheel into the lane like that. That was a must-score opportunity for Utah State, and they got the basket.
Seiko to Bradley.
Back in that zone.
3, Seiko. Inside.
That's a great block out.
Funk is the one in there. And Shulga the other way. With Seiko on him. Akin a screen. The switch on D with Mensah. Shulga. 3. Akin volleyballs it away, but picked up inside, vacuumed in by Johnson. It's ahead to Bradley. Puts on the brakes, the stutter step, and they'll send up the offense. Matt Bradley. The drive, foul. It goes on the Aggies and goes on Ashworth, who took one in the gut. That is a very physical player. Bradley going right into him, plowing his way.
Well, it's a tough matchup for Ashworth on the inside. Bradley is so big and strong. And again, when you're evaluating that, you have to decide, did the defensive player establish legal guarding position, which is both feet on the floor, facing the dribbler?
Matt Bradley is the Cal transfer. He played 3 years at Cal. Last year, he was the Mountain West Newcomer of the Year. This year, he's a first-team all-conference selection, leading the Aztecs, the #1 seed in scoring. In his career, he has scored over 2,200 points. Got it. Bradley.
Well, once again, Utah State just can't grab the rebound.
Bradley inside, foul on the circle. And that will go on Bairstow. Bairstow, number 4. 1-1 again. Utah State finished tied for second in the conference regular season. Number 3 seed. They were a preseason number 8 pick. So they really overcame things. There's a look at San Diego State. They were picked to win the conference in the regular season, and they did.
And here down the stretch, Bradley's the guy who's taken over.
He's a senior. Rope and Funk have to be addressed, and they were. .401 to go.
Kevin, and I think it's worth a reminder to our viewers that each of these teams is playing its 3rd game in 3 days. Utah State didn't get back to their hotel until after midnight last night. Both teams have played very hard. Both defenses have been very solid. But Utah State is more of a finesse shooting kind of team, and sometimes that quick turnaround affects them the most.
It's the quickest turnaround in tournament basketball. 3 Ashworth.
See, he's just got no legs.
No, none.
3.
You're right, Dan.
That's usually a shot that he'll make.
They're still low. Shulga high. Funk the screen. The switch with the rope on defense. Shot clock at 5. Ashworth picked up by Trammell. He'll dive inside. Short again. The defense of the Aztecs there. Parrish grabs it. Trammell has it. And the cloud right now getting darker and darker over the Aggies. Trammell.
Got to have a stop here.
17-footer. Well, we knew, Dan, the Aztecs had the deeper bench, and those numbers reflect that.
Boy, they sure do, Kevin. And it's the other number that's really important, I think, is this number right here. This is a team, Utah State, one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. They shoot 40% as a team on the season from out there. And yet today, you can see 3 for 19.
Dan, they average 9 threes a game. They've only got 3 today. And Utah State has missed 13 of their last 14. You mentioned the shooting of Ashworth, who's their #1 scorer, first team all-conference, number 3 right there in black, and his legs just aren't there.
And he has had to work very hard for everything he's gotten. He's only 3 for 10, 1 for 5 from beyond the arc. He has no assists. He has 2 turnovers. They have been all over him.
Trammell's on him now. Bairstow will look over the long reach of Parrish. Shulga slips it inside. Oh, knocked away a rope!
Called foul.
They did. Akin was inside, and a rope was in there defending, trying to erase the shot. But he draws the foul, and 2.5 to go in the championship game of the Mountain West. How about that, Greg?
Wow.
That is amazing. We're in the midst of an 18-point turnaround here since San Diego State trailed by 11. They're up now by 7. This is the Capital One rewarding performance, Dan. The bench, a huge part of the Aztecs today.
The bench has been a huge part. You see 26 points. Ledee led the way with 15. But not only did the 26 points, Kevin, by those 4 players, 26 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 block shots. And Brian Dutcher told us that he was going to try to wear down Utah State with his bench, and I think that they are on the verge of accomplishing that task.
During the break, they changed the foul to Butler, not a rope. So Butler will pick up the foul. He has 4. Akin at the free throw line. From the United Kingdom. On CBS. Loose inside, Trammell's got it, another rebound.
And Utah State, which comes in as a 77% free throw shooting team, is 7 for 14 in this game.
Rebounding advantage 10 now for the Aztecs. Bradley. Down low, Ledee. Parrish, step back 3. With a diving rebound inside, Ledee, a big-time offensive board.
And that allows San Diego State to run more time off the clock. Of course, the shot clock only resets to 20, but they're going to run it down as far as they can.
Aztecs, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country, and it is showed today. Bradley dancing, backpedal, long shot, missed it all. Whistles out of bounds, and a shot clock violation.
And now you're in a situation, if you're Utah State, not only do you have to score, but you have to score very quickly. And they've had a problem, Kevin, not only scoring quickly, but scoring at all.
Butler and Seiko will check in. Bradley will check out with Trammell for the Aztecs. And they're going to go to Keyshawn Johnson checking in. He'll replace Ledee, who has been marvelous today. Ledee has got 9 rebounds, Dan, and 15 points.
Prior to this game, the lowest point total for Utah State all season was 59.
Isn't that something? They got 46 right now. Ashworth, hard pass. Akin got it. That is a good pass inside. That little lob. And Ashworth gets the assist with full court pressure. 5-point game.
But Johnson right here is the worst free throw shooter on the court. When you're going to foul, he's the guy you got to foul.
Here's Seiko. A rope. Akin is on him. Running down that clock. Now in single digits at 7. Inside, oh, it's a nest of defenders. Johnson lost the ball. Nice defense in there by the Aggies, and they come charging the other way with Ashworth.
You got to go. Whatever you shoot, 2 or 3, it's got to be fast.
Bairstow. Ashworth will drive down the lane. It's a 3-point game. Full court pressure again. Knocked away.
Well, we're under 2 minutes, and so we're going to go over and look now to see who touched the ball last. Well, there's 2 hands in there, but
right
that next looks like it was Ashworth. Let's see here. Ashworth, he's got his hand. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That looks like it may have gone off Butler's hand. Ooh. Can't really tell from this angle. That other angle, though, it looked like the last guy to touch it was Butler. Ashworth clearly hits it, but Butler's got his hand underneath the ball, and it looks like the ball goes off his fingertips.
Gene Steratore rejoins us, and you're looking at the replay as we are. Gene, what do you see?
Just a great look here on this last angle, Kevin. Ashworth does hit it first, but Butler's hand stays there a little bit longer, and I've got this ball going off of Butler's right hand, and the ball back to Utah State here.
This will be a good vantage point. Yep, Gene, I agree. It looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Boy, Kevin, if
Here's
you're
the one
agreeing
right
with
here.
me
Look
this
at
time,
this.
we don't need to bring Dan in.
No, that's right.
There's the hand, and then
Gene, Kevin never thinks he needs to
what
bring
a
me
shot.
in.
What a great shot by our crew and our
great shot.
producer,
Yes,
Kenny Mack, and our director, Mike Arnold.
Well, guys, the only thing I would say about this is every time we've talked about this, we've been wrong today. So
I don't think we're wrong here.
okay.
I'll bet you a sonic little doggy on that. But here we right, Gene? Gene,
yes, sir, Kevin. With fries, Kevin, with fries.
Well, that's a pretty big call here because we have a 3-point game and a championship game at that. And after some great looks at it, we couldn't get 4 or 5 better looks than what we've got. That's a good one. There's one from the other end of the floor. That's a good look. And that's what our officiating crew, a veteran crew, is looking at right now. Watch this one right. This, to me, is the most definitive.
We see Ashworth. He's going to reach in over the top. He hits the ball, and then it appears from that angle that Butler's hand goes underneath the ball, and that ball goes off his fingertips.
And thus, it would be Utah State's ball.
And just as that call, you know, with 6 minutes and 19 seconds left in this game, Funk hit a 3 that it looked like it counted, but when the officials went over there and looked at it frame by frame, they decided to wave it off, and that would have given Utah State a 1-point lead. And obviously this is so important here with 49.6 seconds left in the game. Who has possession of this ball is critical. See if they make any adjustments to the clock.
It is Utah State's ball. That is a big call. That is a big review. And the Aggies will get it down by 3.
When Brian Dutcher's guys caught the break with the Funk three-pointer being reversed, they took advantage. Now let's see if Utah State can take advantage of this.
Ashworth to inbound. In the corner, Funk for the tie. Rebound lassoed inside a rope and quickly fouled. 43 seconds to go.
And a rope is a good guy to foul. He has not been to the free throw line that much this year, only 15 out of 23, and that's 52%.
1-1. Ashworth picked up his 4th personal foul.
Kevin, I thought Funk was open, but that pass did not have a lot of steam on it. It bounced a couple of times going over there. That gave the defense time to react, and instead of an open 3, Funk had to shoot a contested 3.
It's a rope at the line.
And he's shooting 1-1.
And he's 1 for 1 today at the line.
He has really played well off the bench.
And the numbers aren't going to reflect it, but the eye test tells you yes,
Well,
he was huge.
He's now got 6 points. He had 7 rebounds. He blocked a shot. He was tremendous defensively. And that, again, that's a guy who's only been to the free throw line 23 times this year. Prior to that,
5-point game, 43 seconds to go.
well, now you really have to go
2 timeouts apiece.
if you're Utah State.
Aggies and Aztecs each have 2 timeouts.
And we've got a substitution
Issue.
Yeah, because I think Ryan Odom, and he can get him in if he calls the timeout, but they made a substitute and then no time ran off the clock, and they took a guy out and tried to put him back in.
Utah State has taken the timeout. They trail by 5 in the Mountain West Championship. So here we have a 5-point lead for San Diego State. They trailed earlier by 11. They've had a 19-point turnaround in the game. And here we go with 43 seconds to play in the second half.
Kevin, the key elements there were the fact that Utah State has 9 fouls, so the next foul they committed, San Diego State was going to go to the line for 2, and the possession arrow favors San Diego State. Got to go.
Ashworth.
2 or 3, doesn't matter, but it's got to be fast.
Ashworth got the screen. Funk makes the fake. Ashworth will tee up a 3. It's a 2-point game with 30 seconds to go. Wow.
San Diego State flying at the 3-point shooters, and the one guy you don't want to leave open is Ashworth.
He's a top 10 3-point shooter in college basketball. Timeout. Teams trying to survive in advance, and this Wednesday the new season of Survivor is just getting started. Don't miss the epic challenges and stunning game moves. The new Survivor airs Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus. Watch the 3 moments ago to pull the Aggies to within 2.
But the key here is the clock should stop when the ball clears the net, and that's what the officials were looking for. They added 0.3 seconds on the clock. And in the last, when you get under a minute, when a basket goes in, the clock is supposed to stop, and it stops when the ball clears the net. So they put 0.3 seconds on. I think if you're Utah State, if you don't get a steal right away, you have to foul immediately.
Bradley is in, Seiko is in, full court pressure applied. Seiko,
and I would foul him.
He gets it to Parrish, and now Seiko, the collapse and the foul, and the foul goes on Idlerock, R.J. Idlerock. It is his first foul.
But it's the 10th team foul.
10th team foul.
So Seiko, a 77% free throw shooter, goes to the line for 2.
No one has won more Mountain West Conference games than this kid, a record 114. In a game earlier this season with Utah State, he made 6 threes in the first half and finished with 25 in a game in January. And he gets that one to bobble in. And that was his first free throw of the night. Some sharpshooters coming in for the Aggies.
San Diego State now, they don't want to get an over-the-back foul in this situation, so they're backing off.
That will fly in.
Again, you've got time, not a lot of times, so you've got to go very fast.
Shulga into Seiko, lost his balance in the corner. Turnover.
And that's what happens sometimes when you're trying to go really fast.
Full court pressure again.
And San Diego State is obviously going to try to get the ball into their good free throw shooters. So Arope and Johnson are the 2 worst on the court.
Seiko trying to get it to Bradley, got it to Arope. And they get him in a straitjacket, and he is fouled quickly.
Well, we just talked about him. He was only 15 of 23, and now he's 17 for
right.
25. So, boy, that was a big turnover.
The shooting today by these 2 teams. San Diego State has shot 33% from the floor. Utah State 36%. 3-point shooting, 2 of 19 for the Aztecs, 4 of 22 for Utah State with a miss by Arope.
Well, even had he made both of them, Kevin, it would still have been a 2-possession game, and we're at a 2-possession game right now. San Diego State applying the pressure.
5-point game. Here comes Ashworth. Utah State, no timeouts. That will be off inside. It's Bairstow who got the pass from Funk. 3-point game, 9.5 left.
Almost have to get a steal.
2 timeouts, San Diego State, none for the Aggies. Timeout taken by San Diego State with 1 remaining. Ryan Dutcher will talk it over with his San Diego State Aztecs. San Diego State, the #1 seed in this conference. They're trying to do something that doesn't happen all that time. Win a regular season title and a conference tournament title. Win them both. Seiko will inbound. Aiken is in front. 9.5 and a 3-point game.
Seiko can run the baseline.
And he does. And he gets it off quickly to Parrish, and they quickly clamp onto him. And a second off the clock. A little more than a second off the clock.
That's on Akin. He's done.
It's on Ashworth, and it's number 5.
And he's done.
Yes.
Well, you have no choice in this situation. You have to foul immediately. You just don't have any time at all. And you would prefer Ashworth not be the guy to commit the foul because
he's your best player.
You need
your
him
best scorer.
offensively.
Yeah, exactly. Utah State. They won 6 titles as a member of the Big West Conference. They were in the Big West for 27 years. Then, from 06 to 2013, they were members of the Western Athletic Conference. They won 2 titles there in the 8-year membership they had there. Here, they have won 2 postseason titles in the 10 years they have been in the Mountain West. They joined it in 2013. Parrish is at the line.
He's a 78% free throw shooter. And that was the big one.
That was Dan 4-point game. Sixth consecutive year that San Diego State has made the championship game. And now it looks like they're circling over.
Brian Dutcher wants these guys to move up and pressure, but they don't want to foul.
5-point game. Funk down, over. Bairstow, 3, short, put up, and going in. That time by R.J. Idlerock, and 1.8 to go. With a 3-point San Diego State lead.
And if they knock the ball out of
right
Seiko's hands while he was out of bounds, that's a technical foul.
That is a technical foul. He was out of bounds clearly. Watch his feet, and then watch the lunge over the line by Akin.
You can't reach across the line and grab the guy. That's a technical foul.
All right, Gene, you saw it. Do you agree with Dan and I?
Yeah, most definitely. You just can't reach across while the player is in possession of the basketball there and reach across and make that type of contact. That will be a technical foul, and I'm sure that they'll administer it properly, fellas.
Gene, I know that we are getting ready for our bout here with the NCAA tournament. While we got just a few seconds, we know they're going to select 100 officials, aren't they, after this weekend to officiate in the NCAA tournament. That is a big moment for all the hundreds that officiate college games across the country.
It sure is, Kevin, and that selection Sunday for the officials is just as important, as exciting for their friends and family as it is for all these players, coaches, and fans. And it's a long season, as you guys all know, and this hard work night in and night out by these officials with the hope of not being recognized during that entire endeavor is something that they should all be commended for. It's why I'm so proud to be part of that fraternity. And I wish them all the best of luck. It's going to be a great few weeks here on CBS and Turner.
Well, lucky we've got you, Gene. We'll look forward to all your comments throughout the next 3 weeks. And clarify that call for us, Dan.
Well, he did reach across. He did grab him. It's a flagrant 1 foul. And so the penalty is 2 shots and the ball.
As Gene was confirming, and San Diego State is going to win a championship. Not just for the regular season title, but also for the postseason title, the Mountain West Tournament champions as well.
An impressive performance, Kevin. They really struggled to score in the first half for about the first 15 minutes of the first half. But the last 15 minutes, they got it rolling a little bit offensively, and they never let up with their defensive pressure.
San Diego State down the stretch, 11 of 12, shooting from the free throw line. That's it. San Diego State, the tournament champions in the West in this terrific conference, rated number 5. They win the Mountain West regular season. They win the Mountain West tournament, and they do it by beating the 3-seed Aggies of Utah State with a 62-57 final. San Diego State has now won 10 of their last 11. And they now set their sights onto the NCAA tournament. This conference is hoping to get 4 teams into the NCAAs. The final again is San Diego State 62, Utah State 57. For Dan Bonner, AJ Ross, Gene Steratore, our producer Ken Mack, our director Mike Arnold, and our entire CBS crew, Kevin Harlan saying good night from Las Vegas, Nevada. You've been watching the Mountain West Championship on CBS Sports.
What we've done all year. So defense is the key to our team. So we have to continue to defend.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
ceremony of the 2023 men's basketball team of all 14 teams. From Boise State, Tyson Degenhart. From Utah State, Stephen Ashworth and Taylor Clark. And from San Diego State, Randall and Dylan Ladue. And of course, the MWT, Matt Riley of San Diego State. Hope you join us next March 6th and 16th for the 2024 Mountain West Basketball Games right here